Background of the case. The Carbolic Smoke Ball Company was a British company that manufactured a product called the smoke ball, a small rubber ball filled with a special powder. The user had to squeeze the ball and inhale the powder through their nose. The company claimed that this would protect them from colds, influenza, and other illnesses. In 1891, the company ran an advertisement in newspapers making a bold claim. £100 reward will be paid to anyone who catches influenza after using the smoke ball 3 times daily for 2 weeks. The ad further stated, "We have deposited £1,000 in the Alliance Bank as proof of our sincerity." This advertisement was intended to attract customers by making the product seem reliable and risk-free. What happened? A woman named Mrs. Louisa Carlill saw the advertisement and decided to buy the smoke ball. She used it as instructed 3 times a day for 2 weeks. However, despite following the directions, she caught influenza. She then demanded the £100 reward from the company. The company refused to pay her, giving the following reasons. 1. The advertisement was not a serious legal contract, but just a marketing gimmick. 2. Mrs. Carlill never notified them that she accepted the offer, so there was no mutual agreement. 3. The offer was too vague and made to the entire public, not a specific individual, so it couldn't be enforced. 4. The conditions were unclear and they could not be responsible for all users getting sick. Feeling that she had been cheated, Mrs. Carlill took the company to court. The court's decision: the court ruled in favor of Mrs. Carlill, ordering the company to pay her the £100 reward. The judges gave several key reasons. 1. The advertisement was a legally binding offer. The wording of the ad showed a clear promise to pay £100 if someone caught the flu despite using the product. The fact that the company deposited £1,000 in the bank showed they intended to be legally bound by the promise. 2. It was a unilateral contract. A unilateral contract is a contract where one party makes a promise and the other party fulfills the required conditions to accept it. In this case, the company promised £100 to anyone who used the product correctly but still got sick. 3. Mrs. Carlill did not need to notify the company before accepting. Normally, in a contract, both parties agree explicitly to the terms. However, in a unilateral contract, acceptance is done by performing the action using the smoke ball. So, Mrs. Carlill did not need to inform the company before using it. Using the product as per instructions was enough. 4. The terms were clear enough. The company tried to argue that the conditions were unclear, but the court said that using the product 3 times a day for 2 weeks was a clear and enforceable condition. If the company did not intend to keep the promise, they should not have advertised it. Key legal principles established. This case established several important rules in contract law, which are still used today. 1. Advertisements can be legally binding off. Normally, advertisements are considered invitations to treat, meaning they invite people to negotiate or make an offer. However, if an ad shows a clear promise and intent to be bound, it can be an offer. 2. Unilateral contracts are legally enforceable. A unilateral contract is where one party makes a promise and the other party accepts by fulfilling the conditions. No direct agreement is needed, just performing the act is enough. 3. No need for notification in unilateral contracts. Usually, in contracts, both parties must communicate acceptance. However, in unilateral contracts, the act of fulfilling the conditions, using the smoke ball, is acceptance. For companies must honor their promises. If a company makes a public promise in advertising, they must fulfill it if someone meets the conditions. Businesses cannot make misleading claims and then refuse to follow through. Impact of the case. The Carlill v. Carbolic Smoke Ball Company case became a landmark ruling in contract law and is still cited today in courts and legal studies. It clarified the enforceability of unilateral contracts when advertisements can be considered offers, the importance of honoring commercial promises. It also served as an early example of consumer protection, ensuring that businesses cannot deceive customers with false claims. Final outcome. Mrs. Carlill won the case and was awarded £100. The Carbolic Smoke Ball Company later went out of business as their product was proven to be ineffective. This case remains a fundamental example in contract law and is taught in business and law courses worldwide. Real-world applications of Carlill versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company case. The Carlill case established key principles of contract law that continue to be relevant today, especially in advertising, promotions, and consumer protection. Here's how it applies in the modern world. 1. Enforceability of advertisements as offers. Example, cashback and money-back guarantees. Many companies offer money-back guarantees on their products, e.g., full refund if not satisfied within 30 days. If a customer follows the stated conditions, the company must honor the guarantee. Carlill case principle. If an ad is clear and specific, it can be a legally binding contract. Real example, a mattress company advertises a 100-night sleep trial with a full refund if unsatisfied. If the customer returns the mattress within the time frame, the company must issue the refund. Nashkur. 2. Unilateral contracts in promotions and rewards. Example, reward offers and challenges. Companies often promise rewards for specific actions, e.g., $1,000 to anyone who finds a bug in our software. If someone meets the challenge conditions, the company must pay the reward. Real example, bug bounty programs. Tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Apple offer cash rewards to security researchers who find vulnerabilities in their software. The Carlill principle ensures companies must pay the reward if the conditions are met. 3. Consumer protection and false advertising. Example, lawsuits against misleading ads. Companies cannot make false claims about their products and then refuse to compensate customers. The Carlill case principle helps protect consumers from deceptive marketing. Real example, Red Bull lawsuit, 2014. Red Bull's slogan, "Red Bull gives you wings," was found misleading. A U.S. court ruled that no scientific proof supported this claim. Red Bull had to pay $13 million in settlements to customers who purchased the drink based on false claims. 4. Online shopping and terms of use. Example, free trials and subscription cancellations. Many companies offer free trials with the promise of cancel anytime. If a company refuses to let a customer cancel after following the correct process, they can be legally challenged. Real example, Amazon Prime free trial disputes. Some customers claim they were charged after trying to cancel a free trial. Under the Carlill principle, if a company makes a clear promise, it must honor it if customers follow the terms. Lottery and contest prizes. Example, publicly announced rewards. Companies and individuals sometimes offer cash rewards for missing pets, stolen items, or contest winners. If someone meets the conditions, the reward must be given. Real example, in 2016, a Florida man sued a car dealership after winning a scratch-off contest that promised a free car, but instead gave him a toy car. Based on the Carlill case, the court ruled in favor of the customer because the advertisement was clear and binding. Conclusion. The Carlill versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company case is still relevant today in money-back guarantees, online promotions and free trials, reward programs and competitions, consumer protection against misleading ads. This case set a legal standard that companies must honor their promises if customers fulfill the conditions stated.